Okay, 6.43. Satratam buddhi samyogam labate paurvatehikam yatate chatato bhuyah samsiddhau kurunandana. Translation. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O son of Kuru. This is talking about one who takes birth in a devotee family. King Bharata, who took his third birth in the family of a good Brahmana, is an example of good birth for the revival of previous transcendental consciousness. King Bharata was the emperor of the world, and since his time, this planet has been known amongst the demigods as Bharatavarsha. Formerly, it was known as Ilavratavarsa. The emperor, at an early age, retired for spiritual perfection but failed to achieve success. In his next life, he took birth in the family of a good Brahmana and was known as Jadabharata because he always remained secluded and did not talk to anyone. And later on, he was discovered as the greatest transcendentalist by King Rahugana. From his life, it is understood that transcendental endeavors of the practice of yoga never go in vain. By the grace of the Lord, the transcendentalist gets repeated opportunities for complete perfection in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we can be sure of getting another chance if we don't achieve perfection in this life. Yeah, I think I don't have anything else to say. 6.44. पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव ह्रियते ह्यवशोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्मादिवर्तते. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Now, this is for those who have continuing from their previous life and very automatically they become attracted to various principles like chanting, getting up early in the morning, etc. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles. So he is an inquisitive transcendentalist because he's continuing his journey. He's better than the ritualistic principles, meaning simply out of force or pressure trying to follow the principles. Advanced yogis are not very much attracted to the rituals of the sacrifice. Okay, so meaning different thing. Okay, so they're not much attracted to the rituals, but they automatically become attracted to the yoga principles, which can elevate them to complete Krishna consciousness, the highest yoga perfection. Yeah, so they're not interested in other sacrifices and this and that and other Vedic rituals. Such disregard of Vedic rituals by advanced transcendentalists is explained as follows. Oh, batasvatpachogto guriyan yajjivagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhuhu sasnurarya brahmanuchur nama grananti yete. O my Lord, persons who chant the holy names of your Lordship are far, far advanced in spiritual life, even if born in families of dog eaters. Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices, bathed in all sacred places, and finished all scriptural studies. So chanting here is pure chanting. Whenever chanting is spoken, it is pure chanting. Whenever word devotee is used, it's pure devotee, generally. The famous example of this was presented by Lord Chaitanya, who accepted Thakur Haridasa as one of his most important disciples. Although Thakur Haridasa happened to take his birth in a Muslim family, he was elevated to the post of Namacharya by Lord Chaitanya due to his rigidly attended principle of chanting 300,000 holy names of the Lord daily. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And because he chanted the holy name of the Lord constantly, it is understood that in his previous life he must have passed through all the ritualistic methods of the Vedas, known as Shabda Brahma. Yes, because he was Brahma himself. Unless therefore one is purified, one cannot take to the principles of Krishna consciousness or become engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna. One cannot take to the principles of Krishna consciousness. So this is again one, unless one is purified, he cannot take to principles in terms of constant engagement. Okay. Point 45. Prayatnadyatamaanastu yogi samshuddha kilbishaha aneka janma samsiddhas tato yati param gatim. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. A person born in a particularly righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family becomes conscious of his favorable condition for executing yoga practice. With determination, therefore, he begins his unfinished task, and thus he completely cleanses himself of all material contaminations. When he is finally free from all contaminations, he attains the supreme perfection, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the perfect stage of being freed of all contaminations. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam drudaprataha. After many, many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed from all contaminations and from all illusory dualities, one becomes engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So pure devotion. One becomes engaged in pure devotion after many, many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed from all contaminations and all illusory dualities. If in case we achieve pure devotional service in this life, that means that we've also in previous lives done all this. 6.46. Tapasvibhyotiko yogi gnanibhyopi matodikaha karmibhyaschadiko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. A yogi is greater than the ascetic tapasvi. A yogi is greater than the tapasvi, greater than the gnani empiricist, and greater than the karmi. So yogi is greater than tapasvi, gnani, and karmi. And therefore, Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. When we speak of when we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the Supreme Absolute Truth. Linking our consciousness with the Supreme Absolute Truth. Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of the particular method adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitive activities, it is called Karma Yoga. When it is predominantly empirical, it is called Gnana Yoga. And when it is predominantly in devotional relationship with Supreme Lord, it is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yogas, as will be explained in the next verse. The Lord has confirmed herein the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than Bhakti Yoga. That is in this verse. Bhakti Yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and therefore nothing can excel it. Asceticism without self-knowledge is imperfect, meaning people do a lot of austerities and penance and all that, but if they don't have self-knowledge, then it is imperfect. Empiric knowledge, which is gnana, without surrender to the Supreme Lord, is also imperfect. It is only mental speculation. And fruitive work without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga. And this is still more clearly explained in the next verse. 6.47 Yoginamapi sarvesham madgatena antaratma shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. And of all the yogis, the one with great faith, very important, one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So of all the yogis, the Bhakti yogi is the best because he, with great faith, always abides in Krishna. He thinks of him within himself and renders transcendental loving service to him. So he's most intimately united with Krishna. The word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the verb bhaj, which is used when there is need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is especially meant for Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Prabhupada here is saying that worship as a word, English doesn't have the word bhaj because this is Sanskrit. So worship means to adore or show respect to somebody who's worthy of that respect. But that can be shown to anybody. But service with love and faith is especially meant for Krishna. One can avoid worshipping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discourteous. So if somebody doesn't worship a respectable man, say, okay, this person doesn't have courtesy. But one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. So if one doesn't serve the Supreme Lord, he will definitely be condemned. Every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution, meaning our natural position, which can be, we can be anything in the spiritual world, and we should serve the Lord accordingly. Failing to do this, he falls down. Bhagavatam confirms this. Ya esham purusham sakshad atma prabhavam ishwaram na bhajanti avajananti sthanad bhrashta patantyadaha. Anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. In this verse also the word bhajanti is used. Therefore, bhajanti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only, whereas the word worship can be applied to demigods or to any other common living entity. The word avajananti used in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is also found in Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti mam muda. Only the fools and rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita without an attitude of service to the Lord. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word bhajanti and the word worship. The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are but means to come to the point of bhakti in bhakti yoga. Yoga actually means bhakti yoga. All other yogas are progressions toward the destination of bhakti yoga. From the beginning of karma yoga to the end of bhakti yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma yoga without fruitive results is the beginning of this path. Without fruitive results. When karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the state is called gnana yoga. So somebody is engaged in karma yoga and then the knowledge and renunciation increases, then that state is called gnana yoga. When gnana yoga increases in meditation on the super soul by different physical processes and the mind is on him, it is called ashtanga yoga. And when one surpasses the ashtanga yoga and comes to the point of Supreme Personality of Krishna, it is called bhakti yoga, the culmination. Actually, bhakti yoga is the ultimate goal, but to analyze bhakti yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. One who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called by that particular name. So if someone is a karma, is stuck in karma yoga and doesn't make progress, he is called karma yogi, gnana yogi, dhyana yogi, raja yogi, hatha yogi, etc. If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of bhakti yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest state of yoga. Just as when we speak of Himalayan, we refer to the world's highest mountains, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. It is by great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of Bhakti Yoga to become well situated according to the Vedic direction. The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna, who is called Shama Sundara, who is as beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flower garlanded. So Krishna wears Vaijayanti garland. It has 5 colors. So his body is always flower garlanded. Illuminating all sides is his gorgeous luster, which is called Brahmajyoti. He incarnates in different forms such as Raman, Simha, Varaha, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he descends like a human being as the son of Mother Yashoda. And he is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudeva. He is the perfect child, husband, friend, and master, and he is full with all opulences and transcendental qualities. If one remains fully conscious of these features of the Lord, he is called the highest yogi. So one remains fully conscious all the time, always conscious of Krishna. He is called the highest yogi. This state of highest perfection in yoga can be attained only by bhakti yoga. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katita hyartaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith, built-in faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. So one must have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master. Bhaktirasya bhajanam tad iha mutropadhi nairasyenamushmin manakalpanam etadeva naishkarmyam. Bhakti means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit, either in this life or in the next. Devoid of such inclinations, one should fully absorb the mind in the Supreme. That is the purpose of Naishkarmya, Gopalatapani Upanishad. These are some of the means for performance of bhakti or Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of yoga system. Okay, pretty clear. If anybody has any questions, we can discuss. No questions. Analyze Bhakti Yoga, we should understand other yogas. Yeah. So to analyze Bhakti Yoga, we have to understand other yogas in the sense that we should understand all other yogas are actually part of Bhakti Yoga. So when we come to Bhakti Yoga, we should understand that Karma Yoga is also part of it, Jnana Yoga is also part of it, Dhyana Yoga is also part of it. So that we don't then subsequently go picking up some other yoga path thinking that it's better, because Bhakti Yoga is all inclusive. So we should understand what are the levels, or to what how much progress we can do in each of those, and then we understand that, oh, okay, this is very beginning stage of Bhakti Yoga. Or Bhakti also has a lot of aspects, right? Like, for example, when we are talking about Dhyana Yoga, we are also looking at applying Dhyana Yoga principles to Japa, for example, like that. So if you want to understand Bhakti, like Gnana, right? So to know that Gnana of Bhagavan is higher than Gnana of impersonal, so we should understand that, okay, Gnana Yoga is only coming till impersonal. Then there is higher level stages of Gnana. So like this, for us to be able to understand how powerful Bhakti is, it's good to know other processes and know their limitations. But Bhakti Yoga is surpassing all, because it's much, much, much beyond what all the other yogas can do. And all the other yogas also cannot actually achieve the ultimate goal unless they come to Bhakti. Actually, though the word yoga is used in these processes, it's just a very formal connection. Like typically we think that yoga means connection with the Lord, but Karma Yoga means it's a very formal connection with the Lord, where karma is predominant and there is some kind of connection. So I will do my work and I will offer the results to Supreme Lord as a matter of duty. But Bhakti Yoga also does that, but with love and affection. So Karma Yoga, in some sense, is included in Bhakti Yoga. So then we call that as Karma Mishra Bhakti. So Bhakti Yoga is all encompassing. It has various multiple stages where different of these other yogas can also be accommodated to some extent, or the results obtained by those yoga practices are anyway attained as intermediate goals or results in Bhakti Yoga. So did I answer? Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Here, like Prabhupada mentioned, that when the knowledge and renunciation increases, then the living entity moves from Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga. Like knowledge and renunciation, Jnana and Vairagya are also in the results of Bhakti.
Correct. Yeah, that also answers Soumya Matari's question. So that's also one. So that level is just equivalent to Jnana Yoga. As in, one of the stages, initially when we start Bhakti, we come to Jnana and Vairagya. So that is similar to Jnana Yoga in the sense that Jnana and Vairagya are also manifested here. But this Jnana is the Jnana of the Supreme Lord as compared to Jnana of Brahman in Jnana Yoga.
Right. Okay. And what is the difference in renunciation, Prabhuji? Like, is it the same in Jnana and Bhakti?
Falgu versus Yukta.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Previous was tapasvi means like Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga.
Tapasvi is simply people who are doing austerities. So what is it? Karma. Tapasvibhyodiko yogi. This yogi is dhyana yogi. When you say simply yogi, that is dhyana yogi. And of course, here yogi in this verse is also meaning devotee or dhyana yogi. That is why yoginam api sarvesham. So amongst the yogis, there are different types of yogis. It says, okay, yoginam api sarvesham, bhakti yogi is the best. So tapasvi is just people who do lot of austerities, because Shastra says. But they are not, they are not trying to connect with the Lord. That tapas can also be mundane, it can be for demigods, etc., etc. And it can also be with
But they are above Jnanis,
which one?
empirical. But they are
No, no,
above
no,
like empirical.
no. Tapasvi, then Gnani, actually Karmi. Oh, okay, that way. Yogi is greater than ascetic. No. This is not giving any form, any hierarchy here. He's saying yogi is greater than ascetic, yogi is greater than empress, yogi is greater than fruity worker. It's not saying yogi is greater than ascetic. Who is greater than empress?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all comparing with yogis here. Karmibhyoscha adhiko yogi, gnanibhyopi mato adhikaha, tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi. So, tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Yogi is better than tapasvi, yogi is better than gnani, yogi is better than karmi. So, become a tapasvi, become a yogi. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I think with this we've finished chapter 6. Wednesday, Krishna willing, we'll continue with chapter 7. Okay, then anything else anybody wants to discuss? Otherwise, we can close for today.